Hey friends, welcome back. So today's more so everything about sleep. So for most of my life, I have had difficulty falling asleep and also staying asleep. For a period there, honestly, about not that long ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, I was only getting maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, and over the course of my life, it always trended downward. And I've done everything I could in the past and everything wrong to fall asleep. And it wasn't until the last 2 or 3 years that I dove more into the research and just doing my, um, just scouring the internet of like, how can I actually improve this? Because it was dramatically affecting my quality of life and how I was able to show up, perform in all domains of life, from my training to me at work to how I show up emotionally, mentally, my cognitive abilities. Most of my work is very cerebral, so I was just lagging. I felt like I was just my phone. I felt like I was a phone battery, and I am functioning on yellow, 50% max. Some days felt like 70, but very rarely felt like anything more than that. So first things I did was that I just got a wearable. I have a Garmin on one wrist and then I have a Whoop on another wrist, and I started to look at my sleep, see how many hours, to find a way to quantify and just to get a baseline for how much sleep I was actually getting, and then looking into the quality of what everything meant. So there's like four of the different stages: stage one, stage two, stage three, and stage four. One, think of that as more of like you're kind of like awake, still kind of deeply falling in, and in the lighter sleep, and then stage three and stage four. Think of three as like that deep sleep, where when you really fall into it, and it's a lot. That's where a lot of the muscle tissue recovery, brain physiological recoveries happen, and that REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, is where you start consolidating and processing all those memories, emotions, and really driving in a lot of those neuro pathways that you were carving out throughout the day, and everything like that. So after learning all that stuff and having the wearables on my wrists and wearing it at night to just see, just to get a snapshot, it's like me running my own diagnostics on my own sleep. And then, excuse me, and then I started to do actual things that I was actually helpful, because there are a couple different supplements out there, but those are all expensive, and I've tried several of them, but I wanted to find a way to actually improve my sleep in a way that I can actually do it forever, something that's principles based, things like tangible, actionable, digestible things I can actually do. And then I stumbled upon a guy named Dr. Matthew Walker, and he wrote a book called Why We Sleep. Now, I haven't read the book, but I just cliff noted it, and I listened to a lot of his podcasts, so I was able to follow the breadcrumbs and piece together a consensus of the book and of what he researches and preaches about. And a little backstory on him, just a quick synopsis, or bio, whichever the word is most appropriate there, is that he is a sleep scientist out at UC Berkeley. So he studies everything about sleep from a neuro perspective and health and whatnot. So pretty reliable source there. So six of the things that I normally do in my normal life to help improve my sleep are quite simple things, and things that I just haven't been doing for most of my life. The first thing is finding some way to down regulate. So in the evening time, try not to have so many stimulating stuff around you. So watching too much TV, doing like homework, having intense emotional, like mental conversations, things are just going to really stimulate you and rev you up, because that's the exact opposite of what you want to do. You want to rev down. Otherwise, cortisol levels are going to go up. Other signals internally are going to start revving up, and it's going to be harder for you to fall asleep. And then the next thing is make it cold. So making my home as cold as possible. So optimal sleeping temperature is around 65, 68 degrees. But me having a girlfriend and now two of us, two bodies, exerting heat in the bed. So I actually dropped it 2 extra degrees, a little bit more, and to about 63 degrees. And that's like the perfect temperature for us. Having the fan and having white noise from our air purifier really does help with the white noise, and the cooling and the circulation and the cold really does help that as well, making sure that you have nice sheets as well that do like make you feel nice, warm, and cozy. And then the other thing besides that is having a consistent wake up and going to bed time. So that way you can reset your internal circadian rhythm. Because back in the day, going back early human history, our normal alarm clock and our own body's internal compass, circadian rhythm, was the sky, because we didn't have as much like we have not been indoors as much as we have the last, I would say, 150 years, and compared to the rest of human history. So we normally had the sun and the moon be able to dictate our levels, and we have our own hormonal production system, called melatonin, that once it starts getting darker, the time of the day, our body starts producing and releasing some of these hormones to help you rev down essentially and fall asleep and stay asleep. But since we're inside, we don't get so much of that signals, and it's kind of hard for us to know. And by working late into the night, not having consistent wake up or going to bed times, and having too much stimulants and everything else that I'll also keep on unpacking, it does mess up with the whole kind of program. And so it makes it that much harder for you to fall asleep. So having a consistent wake up and go to bed time is very, very crucial, because our bodies really do like being on a schedule, being on a routine, stuff like that. And then the next thing is on that topic of sunlight, is being able to see sunlight first thing in the morning as early as you can. Yes, through windows are okay, but definitely going outside and getting actual UV rays through your eyes on you, on your face. Of course, don't look at the sun directly and hurt your eyeballs, but making sure that you're exposing yourself to those UV rays, the sun, and then your body, and then just all of the different neural circuitry, things are going to start rebooting and moving the direction that you want it to, and raising your cortisol levels early in the day, so then they have a more timely kind of slowing down, revving down period throughout the day as you go there. And then next thing is being careful of stimulants of like caffeine, and taking like sleeping pills and stuff like that. So caffeine has a shelf life of 6 to 12 hours depending on your body size and weights and a few of those other variables and factors. So for me, my rule of thumb is I like to work my way back, so plan my day in reverse. So if I'm wanting to go to bed at like 10, I put up at like an 8-hour window. And so like my hard cutoff would be like 2 o'clock, but my soft cutoff would be 12. After 2, if I do ingest any type of caffeine supplement or beverage, I know that it may affect me with my sleep later. You may not notice it because you may be able to fall asleep, but your sleep quality can be affected. Like you're not able to fall into those deep stages and REM sleep for the really big things to happen, that really big recovery and memory processing, emotional consolidating processes to happen. So that might be an issue there. So making sure you're pushing your caffeine back. And then the next thing is taking like melatonin pills in the evening and stuff like that. You don't want to hijack your own system on how you produce melatonin to become too dependent on it for the long term. And some of those things basically put you in like a sedative period rather than allowing you to naturally fall into those different stages of sleep for the physiological recovery to happen. And then the other thing is lowering your core body temperature. So like earlier, making sure your home gets cold, but also taking like a hot shower, bath, things like that does help you to lower your core body temperature by 1 to 2 degrees, and that will definitely help you when you're going to sleep. So those are a lot of nuggets. I think that was 6 right there to help you improve your sleep tonight, and things that you can do tonight and forever as helpful, tangible things that you can do. And yeah, so I hope this was helpful to you guys. Please share it with somebody that can use this and refer back to whenever. But again, thank you guys for listening or watching. I'll catch you guys next time.